To make your paving look like it was made from rocks embedded in the driveway, what you basically have to do is to either make the cement, the concrete, with normal plaster sand or building sand, doesn't really matter, and lie it out flat. Make it curvy if you want, put a few normal rocks in there to give it some texture if you like, whatever the case is, but basically lay the concrete on the ground first of all, and then you leave it to set for a while. Make sure to keep it wet, not soaking wet, but just spray it with water every so often, just to give it a nice setting time. And just before it gets rock hard, so you still be able to make dents in it with your finger, you will take a very sharp or a heavy object, something like a flat screwdriver, and you will make all these little gaps in between the rocks. You can make all of them using whatever object you fancy. Obviously the thickness of those gaps will depend also on the object that you use, and once you've done that, spray some concrete powder on top of all of these cement objects that you've now made. Make sure to give the edges a rough face if you can, and then you take normal ground that you can dig out from your garden, as muddy as possible, and a normal paintbrush, and you start painting on these rocks. You can use different thickness of mud for the texture. Some pieces of a rock would be darker than others. You could even use some brown dye, a paint dye that you can buy from a hardware shop, to give it even more brownness or something like that, and then let it set. Once it gets hard, it will actually look like it was made from nature. It will look like it was coming from the ground, because it will have that natural brown color to it that you only get from the ground, that you actually get from your garden, rather than from different types of paints.